Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So, yep. Good morning. Welcome to the mid morning medium chat with me, the Black Swamp Medium. Hey, good morning, Rodney. And it is December 5th. How about that? It is now December. It's been for 5 days, right? Where has the year gone? Hey, Dennis. Good morning. So, yeah, it's pretty cool that we're wrapping up. Hey, good morning, Veronica. Hey, Dana. We, gosh, what a year. I mean, it's amazing to think of where we were at the beginning of this year, especially March. And then now look at us. We've completely got ourselves all the way to the end of the year. And boy, has it been a ride for everybody. Good morning, Kim. And it's been crazy. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Kaylee. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it'd be kind of appropriate now that we're in December, Rodney, that I start implementing some winter images, and we just had over this way, we just had the full moon earlier this week, so I thought that was kind of cool to kind of display that one in the background, a little bit of a thing. I know I'll get into that in a little bit about the full moon and things. Hey, good morning, Jeff. And yeah, it's been a weird week, and obviously there's things that I posted about that I'm going to bring up, and then there's a couple other things I didn't really mention, but I knew they weren't going to take as long. Maybe they will. You never know. I mean, especially if you guys have questions about that. Uh, but yeah, I mean, the it's been a weird week. I spent my last 3 days working on site again, which again, I don't talk about that as much. But hey, good morning, Heather. And I uh, spent the last 3 days of this year working there. And again, I was doing a temporary job for another department, helping them out, and it was weird, being doing all that stuff because it's a little bit more labor intensive than what I'm used to, and a little stressful and things, especially because we all most of us in the Midwest and things. Good morning, Tina. We had some freak weather that started Monday, continued into Tuesday a little bit. So it's always a challenge, especially for me when it comes to the place I do work. It's over an hour away, so the concept of driving in winter conditions is always like, I'm fine with snow, which luckily that's all it really was just snow. And then but the ice is definitely I'm not a big fan of ice. Not that I'm a fan of ice and drinks and things, but but when it comes to driving on it. Hey, good morning, Jason. Good to see you, buddy. And I'm just not a huge fan of the of ice driving, but I can't imagine anybody would be. So you know I've totaled a vehicle on black ice, so it's just not that just kind of cemented my feelings on it. But other than that, so I was a little worried Tuesday morning. Let's see. Hi, Tiffany. Yeah, well, I can hit you up later about that, Tiffany. So, but yeah, so it's been, so I spent the last, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday there and got that out of the way. So now I'm, essentially working from home, which was what most of the year has been anyway. So I was covering, but actually I just started vacation again. I've been getting a little bit of that done. Hey, Ryan, good morning, sir. And so it was kind of nice to now transition, from doing some work. Now I'm going to be on vacation next week, get some things done, and then I got to work 8 straight business days to wrap up the year. So then the 23rd will be my final day, and then we go on holiday break, and then I won't return until January. But fingers crossed that the temporary job that I have been doing, will still want us back, because obviously it's consistent work, and that's the kind of the cool thing about that. Uh, we um, again, the temporary work is temporary, but there's enough of it for at least another 7 6 7 months at the minimum. So I definitely want to hope that that continues, because obviously, if things get a little bit more tighter because of all the restrictions and guidelines and things like that, I'd rather do something than nothing, and that's just me personally. So but so yeah, so that was kind of cool, at least getting that out of the way. A few other things. Last Monday, I've been a guest a couple times. Um, not only by myself, but then with my other partner Debbie, who we do the shows on Wednesdays, Beyond the Silence Radio. But on Monday there was a giant healing show, and I shared it to my page. Hey, good morning, Sharon, and I posted it to my page. So if you guys want to check it out, definitely go to Adam the Black Swamp Medium on Facebook. That'll help you out, and you just scroll down a little bit and you'll find it. You'll see like eight of us in the live, but it was a healing show, and that was a really interesting time. I mean, I've seen the three ladies that hosted, have done it, and then they've started to bring others in. And I was gracious enough to be asked to do that, and so it was amazing because there was eight of us and we all got to take turns if we felt inclined to, and kind of provide healing to everybody that's listening, whether it's live or on the playback, because it's still effective even when you watch it back. But it was really I should say it's really amazing because I was blown away by it. Even from my standpoint of being a healer, the being able to sit there and not only receive it but also be able to help give some of that, and the exchange that went around was just, I mean, we were all just buzzing, even before the show started, and then even after it, where we were just, I mean, completely buzzed. And such a great group. Some of them I've never really met before. I've seen their names, or maybe I've seen them on some other shows, but amazing healers, and we just had a great time. And one thing that was interesting for me during it, I was doing because like, again, there was seven others besides me being eight. Hey, good morning, Ron. And I, uh, you know, definitely taking part in accepting any healing I could get, and things like that. And so there was times where, and it's kind of a cool segue. Hey, good morning, Matt. And I was having experiences, and the cool thing is, it was like well over an hour, and so it's, in a way, you're meditating, and some of it, you're conscious for some of it, and some of it you kind of back away, and because you kind of absorb things and you're kind of open to it. And a few of those times that I kind of drifted back away, some things were happening to me here sitting in this very seat, and that was pretty remarkable. And one of those moments which I thought was interesting, and again, you guys have seen me, wear stuff like this before when it comes to the Vikings and Norse, and I have 16% of that in me. So it was something I didn't know for a long time, but I've kind of been researching it and checking things out, and so it's becoming a little bit more and more prevalent in my life, and in the things that I do. And so during it, literally almost right from the get go, and I'll take it off real quick. Uh, so this is a cuff that I wear, and if you guys look at it real closely, most of you will recognize it as the Tree of Life. Now, in Old Norse language, it is the Yggdrasil, which is how they pronounced it, and all the squiggly lines you see underneath, if you look closely, is the roots to the tree. And so uh, the Tree of Life, spans several different realms. And again, I'm not trying to preach anything. I'm just giving you some stuff. So whether you want to listen to it, or just or really take notice of it or something, but that's up to you. But um, uh, the neat thing about it is the a lot of people connect with it. And again, I mean, it has so many different things. I mean, it's so well rooted, and as well as the branches reach all the way up into the universes. And so the bracelet, the whole time would just constantly be moving, and I would keep my hands down in my lap still, but the cuff would keep shifting. And even though I'm barely moving, but it would keep turning left and right. And I'm just like, I could look down after it would move, and I'm just like, and it's funny is, if you really watch me closely during the broadcast, you'll keep seeing I keep looking down at things, and I'm just like, what is happening? Hey, good morning, Terry. And so um I'm just like, I was like, what is going on? So then I'm starting to think, okay, are they trying to get my attention? Is my guides, who's coming through that wants me to mention this? So I was kind of still staying quiet because a lot of the other healers were doing their things, and again, we just kind of, if you felt ready to jump in, you did. Well, I jumped in and did my piece, but I didn't say anything about the Tree of Life. And finally, we were getting closer to the end, and there was another healer that was doing something, and I started having guides and stuff pop up and around me. And it was neat was, and again, whether you believe this or not, that's completely up to you. I can only tell you what I experienced, and I don't sit there and try to, blow smoke up anybody. Because even for me, to have experiences, still even gets me, surprised, even though I'm used to it and I'm comfortable with it. It's just the thing that when it happens, it's just like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So, and again, I'm not telling you guys how to think or believe. That's completely up to you. But I first had an angel, which I've had on the show before, where the feathers have appeared, and she came over and she grabbed my left shoulder, and I literally could feel the squeeze of somebody coming up behind you and just kind of giving like, hey, hey, I'm here, and a comfort feeling. So I'm like, oh, that's cool, and so I kind of looked over, which if you find it, I don't remember what part it was, but I mean, I kind of look over to my left there, and I notice that she's there, and she kind of moves around, and she kind of gets behind me and over to my right side and hanging back. So I did my healing part of it, and when I backed out, and again, somebody else was speaking. Well, she comes back up again, and she starts squeezing my right shoulder, and again, I'm feeling the fingers, the impressions, and it's not because that time I was wearing a short sleeve shirt. I wasn't wearing a hoodie, and so there's not a whole lot of movement with shirt, and I have big shoulders as it is, so it's not like I have all this extra material just laying there and it's falling off. Well, and I'm feeling it, and I'm trying to even kind of look over a little bit, but I can see her, and so I do see transparent image of her, and she's sitting there and she's squeezing it, and she does that for a second or two, and then she slides back, and then a Native American guide comes up, and he's in full regalia, and comes over, and he does the same thing, puts his left hand on my shoulder, squeezes down, and I'm like, okay, because I'm looking over like this, and I see him, and I'm like, okay, thank you. And he backs away. And then the shocker and the surprise is, and again, I'm going to repeat myself, and not trying to preach anything or put any beliefs on anybody. But again, just and when it happens, you can't help but take notice of it. And so, sure enough, the god himself, Odin, shows up. He comes up behind me, and now you got to remember, if you guys do any research on Odin, he has a particular look. He has a missing eye, which he gave up to acquire wisdom, which he then passes down to everybody. Hey, good morning, Jennifer. And when Odin came over and put his hand on my shoulder, it was a hard squeeze. And again, you're thinking Viking, Old Norse. So, he had some tension to it, but he's squeezing and he's not letting go. And he's just continually like, if somebody, a loved one or a friend or something, you just come over, you kind of grab them, and you just kind of be in there for them. And that's what he did. He just kept sitting there. And I would occasionally look over, I'd look up at him, and I'm just like, and he's kind of watching the screen too, and he's squeezing on me, and I'm just like, wow. And and it had to have been at least 10, 15, 20 seconds. I mean, it really was that long. He just kept holding on. And I'm like, this is impressive to be able to go that long, because normally, again, I do paranormal research and investigating. And so, you get like a poke or a quick little something, and then that's it. And, that's it, you just move on. And so he wasn't letting go. So eventually, like, I realized that I'm like, he's obviously trying to give me a message. So I'm like, what do you want? What am I supposed to tell them? And sure enough, right at that point, the cuff starts moving on me. And I'm like, oh, so you really want me to touch base on that? You really want me to bring up the tree of life? And so it's moving. And I'm like, okay, I will. So I waited for my time to jump on there. And finally, when I did, and I said, by the way, I got to just mention this. I said, the whole time, I said, this bracelet, the Yggdrasil or tree of life, has been moving on me. And I said, I'm being told that I need to bring this up. I said, I'm not entirely sure why. Good morning, Kristen. And I'm not entirely sure why I need to bring this up, but I really need to bring it up. But I said, I mean, it's obviously important in a lot of people. Hey, good morning, Sean. And it was mind blowing. I mean, I share it, and then it kind of opened up a lot of other doors. Several other healers connected with it, and Jennifer was one of them. She's one of the hosts of the Hearts of Collective Change, and she connected with it right away, and was getting goosebumps, and a couple other people were just taken back, and so one of them had to share something too, he added to it, and then another one had a drawing that he created, which was connecting with some of the other people of the tree of life, and it had has a person in it, and he normally doesn't have that sketchbook down where his office was, where he was doing his part of it, and it just happened to be behind him. And so it was weird that three, four of us healers just whilst kind of getting together on this one thing, a tree of life. And so even people in the chat room were talking about it. And so it was a cool moment. In all shapes and forms. So it was really, really neat to have that happen, and especially when it's live on the air. I mean, it's the cool thing because it's nothing was set in stone. I mean, a lot of us, had ideas of what we were going to do, and it's amazing how when you do this kind of work, how yeah, you might not know what's going to happen, but at the point when there's something that is going to happen, it makes itself known, and here it is, we were able to share, and so it was really, really cool. And Jennifer's putting a link in there if you guys want to check that out. um and it's just really, really cool. So I mean, if you guys want to check that out, it's over an hour. Just amazing. And again, if you really watch me a lot, you'll see me looking around and things, and stuff, especially a little bit in the beginning, and then more so when we start getting about halfway through, a little past halfway, and that's when I start looking around at stuff a little bit more because I'm noticing things. So, but just I really wanted to share that because it was such a really cool moment for me, and sure, not everybody can connect with it or understand it because they didn't experience it, and I get that. But for me, it was significant enough to where it made a difference. And so many healers and people that were watching that did connect. And so it was meant to be, and that's the cool part about it. It's what it's fun about what we all do. And Kristen's another great medium in there, and she she totally can relate to the the things when you don't have expectations, and when then things happen, it's just like boom, there it is. And um it just feels really cool. um so that was really cool. That really started off the week kind of neat and stuff. And other than that, we, again, I mentioned it in my post. I, had some highs and lows, and that was obviously a high. And then there was just some stress, and like I've talked about in the past. And again, I won't go deep into it, but yeah, it's just I've had some other things worrying me, and so I'm like, it stinks when this happens, and I'm just like, I beat myself up. And thanks, Jeff, and thank you, Jennifer. That was amazing. I'm glad we all did that, and we are planning to do more. So you guys have to watch that. I'll be posting about that. Um, and geez, I forgot where I was going with that. Let me get a sip of coffee. I did bring my warmer out this time, so it should stay warm the entire time, or at least until I finish it. um, I oh, but just just normal things. I've let things beat me up a little too much, and it's a problem that I don't know why it is this year. Good morning, Rhonda. I've I've just silly things have just start eating at me, and it's like and then I got panic attacks and stuff, and then I'm sitting here in the background just oh my gosh. Good morning, Jennifer. And so I try to make the best of it. And I was worried because like last day was the last day where I was last day of I worked 2 days, Thursday, Friday, from home, and I was covering for somebody. And so I'm checking emails and things and doing some other paperwork stuff behind the scenes. And I get done, and maybe 30 minutes after I was done, I just started feeling horrible. And it was weird because I'm like, I was all excited, I'm like, this is cool, now I'm on vacation for a week, and I'm like, great. And I felt like garbage the rest of the evening, and I was just like a bum. And I think it's probably because everything finally let loose. And I think it was a way of it was just get the day over with, and go to sleep. Because I was sitting there thinking as I was going to bed, I'm like, gosh, I hope I get enough rest, because I don't want to cancel, today. Cause I mean, if I felt like, trash, it'd be one thing, but but again, you still try to push through it. And I'm still feeling some effects of things, and even some other things that are going on. It's weird. I think we all can agree we always have something going on. Some of it good, some of it bad, and some of it confusing. you know and that's kind of what happens. You just got to learn how to roll with it, and deal with one thing at a time. And that's what I've been doing, and that's why I said I was good enough to where I felt like I wouldn't look like I'm gonna, fall asleep on you guys and be tired because that was the big thing. I was just tired and exhausted from because you work yourself up over stupid things or things that might not be necessarily stupid, but just they all add up and they eventually just kind of burn you out. And so that was where it was. I just was kind of burned myself out this week, and I was like, man, I don't want to. I today is so cool, and today there's things about today that are important and tomorrow as well. And yeah, right, right, Jeff. Yeah. So I mean, um, it's just how it is. I mean, we're all dealing with things and multiple levels and stuff, uh, but yeah. So so I'm decent today, and even funnier is I kind of went against what I normally do. Normally, I always said, let's wake up together, let's hang out, let's drink our drinks and have our breakfasts while we're just chatting and having a good time listening to my stories um and then answering questions. And it's uh one of those things where you feel like if you're not feeling great enough for it, it's hard to really get into it and stuff. But I'm just glad that for the most part I feel decent enough, and I'm not hiding too much, which I'm good at. A lot of people don't know that about me. If things are bothering me, I can hide it with the best of them. But so I guess what I could do is enough about that fun stuff. That's true. That's true, Kristen. Yep. Yep. And most know that, if you've been following me for a while, I go under another stage name, Adam Hawkins, and I do relaxation music, which, you'd think I'd take my own advice. But it's weird is I can't play my music to relax me. I have to play other people's music, which that's pretty common for a lot of musicians. you you really want to relax. You have to completely get away from what you do, because when I listen to my stuff, I just get critical, which is a good thing. Hey, good morning, Dan. And yeah, I can't listen to my stuff to relax because then I'm trying to remember those sessions when I was recording them and stuff. So and so it's kind of hilarious how that works out. So I do listen to other stuff that do help me. Hey, good morning, Phil. Good to see you, sir. And so I do occasionally do it. And what I do is I kind of let things kind of flow where if it feels right for me at that point in time, then I'll do that. Or I'll go try to do something else to kind of distract my mind for a little bit, which does help. And but it's hard because it's what works for me might not work for somebody else, and so you have to find what does. um but anyway, I guess we should transition a little bit over to the main one of the things I really wanted to touch base on today. In fact, I do have to change my background for this because those that are friends with me, which I don't do a lot of. I've been trying not to do a lot of friend acceptances on my personal page because obviously um, there's things that I don't do or and don't talk about on my personal page. I just kind of try to always do um, positive things, just like I do here. But like on this page, I do all the hey, good morning, and I try to do all the paranormal things and the spiritual things and all the stuff that's wrapped around all that and holistic things here on this page and posting about it. Because I have more than half of my friends on my personal page aren't into that stuff. So it's amazing how I can get a lot more attention on that stuff here and then hardly get anything on my personal page. And it's so weird. So I've just learned to just kind of not do that there. And that way, and then just post things that, maybe put a smile on somebody's face or little things that maybe I'm doing or into, and, the occasional thing where I'm just kind of feeling down and I just kind of need a little love. I think we all need that from time to time. And you guys are well aware of that I will say, hey, give me a little boost today because I could use it, just like a lot of people. I mean, so many people in here that have been needing that. And Rhonda's one of them. I mean, she's been dealing with a lot with her mom and things. So, we always think about her and her family and her mom. And, we can't help but send that out to people that need it right now. And, but anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the background real quick. So that way we can get into the meat of one of the things I wanted to talk about because it's one of my favorite days of the year. Now, don't be scared. For those that don't know what this is behind me, this is not the devil. So let me start that off. This has nothing to do with that kind of thought. So please don't think that. Yes, it might look like the devil, but he's not. So for those that have no clue, and you can kind of see it up in the one corner up there. I don't know if my mouse is appearing up there or not, but anyway, up in the one corner, this is today is Krampus Day or Krampus, if you really want to. We say Krampus because it's our American accents say it, but it's actually Krampus. And um, the thing up there is Gruß von Krampus, which is greetings from Krampus, and it's definitely ranked up there as one of my favorites. It's definitely up there. So I have kind of pushed that up there. Halloween's obviously number one in my book, and then this is definitely kind of slid into the number two spot, just because it's such a cool thing. And again, it's not it obviously it's mythological and there's nothing completely true about it, but at the same time, you know, there's some neat elements to that, and I'm not going to spend the next half an hour or so talking about it, but one of the things that I do love to and I do love what I love about Krampus is that it's sort of the he's sort of the well again we all know who Saint Nick is. He truly was a real character, a real person, and he really did mean well. And obviously, you know, uh, the modern world twisted it and put a spin on it and changed it to Santa Claus and stuff and so it was I mean I get it to bring cheer and things like that, but you know Krampus was based on what a lot of things happen where they try to instill fear you know in a mythological way when it comes to the idea of trying to get kids if they're being unruly and things straighten them out a little bit and there's enough things about about Krampus that certainly will alarm the kids and definitely scare them, and so typically yes. Yep. And so I had just been, taken back by it. And again, this is more of a European thing. In fact, it's the motherland, the true where the story originates from is Austria. And obviously it's spread. Even little even majority of Germany doesn't really even know. I mean, yes, nowadays, but even for the longest time, only the corner of Germany that touches Austria knew something of Krampus, but for the most part, they had no idea. So the northern parts of Germany, nobody knew what it was, didn't even understand it. So it just again, it was so fascinating, and so I again just really got into it when I first learned of it, and so it just fascinated me. But one of the beliefs is that Krampus was the brother to Santa Claus. So the idea was is we all know that Santa Claus keeps a naughty list, and he's checking it and everything. And what typically happens is he kind of gives the naughty list over to Krampus, and Krampus goes over there and he's got a couple different things he's going to do. He's either going to scare the living crap out of you, like Jen just said in the chat room, or or he's going to and again mythological, he's going to take you away and you'll never be seen again. And so yes, nowadays that's a little bit heavy, considering all the things that go on. So but back in and again there really isn't the stories of Krampus have been around for so long, they actually do not have a specific year as to when it was first known. The earliest ways of marking and writing and things like that, it's been around for centuries and centuries and centuries. So I mean, probably pretty much once man became a little bit more civilized, it's been around that long. But the my boy down there and we we I again I just was into it. And so what I did ended up doing was is for a couple years I started working with a mask maker in Austria, and I really wanted to acquire my own setup, my own Crumpus, outfit, if you will. And so for about a year, it took almost a year, little over a year and a half, because of the fact that he was so booked up because he's such a great, mask maker. Uh, it took a while, and so last year I was finally able to. It was finally completed. I do not have it here with me right now because it's still boxed up. But if people want to see it, I'll give you some details of where to see it possibly later. Anyway, but yeah, so I had a whole thing, and Jeff kind of made a statement, which I'll throw up there real quickly. Um, I made an, I shouldn't say but Crumpus made an appearance at our Old Mill Parafest in 2019. It's true. I was off site at that time, and I uh, it was really cool. It really hit the spot, and a lot of you that are in the chat room know of Jeff Belanger, researcher. He's done so many different shows, and he's one of his favorite characters is Crumpus, and it just so happened that he was talking about it as part of his Christmas special for us last year, and it worked out really well. That because surprisingly, Crumpus showed up and had to take him away. So, and it was pretty cool, and there's a few videos out there that show those moments and things, but again, just love it. It was such a cool thing, and so I'm planning to entice him to appear later on his Facebook page. Of course, he's not quite the electronic guru that some of us are, when it comes to doing these lives and setting things up. But, he's, since his brother's Saint Nick, he's able to, get a lot of, electronics and technology to help him out when it comes to, you know, uh, keeping tabs with people and stuff. And so, if you guys are curious and want to see a little bit more, if you guys go over to uh, the Black Swamp Krampus uh, Facebook page, you'll maybe see him pop up. I mean, I'm trying to work with him, trying to see if he'll pop up, for a few minutes or so and just kind of give us maybe an update in how his day is going, because obviously today is the day where he begins his journey to collecting or beating beating naughty kids. And if you guys want to see some things later, just check out that Facebook page, Black Swamp Krampus, um, and hopefully you will. And again, I said he's looking to do something live for even a couple minutes, because again, he's quite busy. He's quite busy, and today, like other days, he's got his hands full. I mean, especially this year. So there, I saw his post the other day, and he was mentioning that it might not necessarily be children, but those of us that are acting like children. So you never know. You never know. But so check it out. You never know. um, so yes, so that's the whole thing. Again, we could spend forever talking about it, and but if you guys ever want to, do some fun stuff. I mean, go to YouTube, type in, Krampus run. Uh, Typically over there, they don't always say parades; they say runs. And so if you do a Krampus run, and if you want, you could put a year in there, like 2019 or back further, or just put Krampus run. And what you'll see is there's a lot of, I mean, imagine like here in the States, we have, paranormal teams. Well, they have groups that get together and they will uh, uh, everybody, dresses pretty much the same. Obviously, little, tweaks are different, but you'll see different groups that'll do these runs or parades as we know it. And they walk down the streets, and some of the cities over there, allow you to interact with the the people watching. Uh, the um, one thing that was neat last year was in December, literally almost a year ago. Um, Krampus made an appearance at Exit 13 Haunted House for Friday the 13th weekend, and that was fun because that really got Krampus going because he got to do what he could typically do. He was able to, uh, you know, lay hands on people and cause mischief and really put the fear uh in them. And so he it was like he was back home, doing his thing. So, you know so if you watch some of them, you will notice that they will uh be a little bit on the physical side when it comes to if you're watching certain ones. Some they don't, because I think it depends on, again, the area and what's allowed. Obviously, we'll never have that here in the States. You're never supposed to put your hands on somebody or else you're in big trouble. So, uh, so Krampus has to be a little bit more careful here, but it was it was pretty cool. And again, it was good times. And so, it was uh, hopefully, there'll be this year obviously it was kind of, horrible, but Exit 13 was a pretty cool place that Krampus got to kind of feel like himself again. So maybe that'll happen again down the road. You never know. We'll have to keep tabs on that. But uh so but anyway, so that's again, that's just a small little taste of Krampus. And again, it's definitely a number two for me when it comes to that, and being able to uh be a part of that kind of folklore and that uh, excitement, and to see how people take to it, and stuff, especially here, because it's really, again, it's the last couple of years have definitely picked up pace, and so a lot more people do know of it. And there is been, I've seen some areas, I mean, granted, this year is, probably a loss, but the last few years I've seen a few cities that have done runs, and even in Detroit, I've seen they were having something, but I was busy that weekend, so I, was like, oh man, because I would have convinced them to go take part. And I know there's a big following in Houston, Texas. They do a big run down there, which would have been great. And then there's been some other little pockets here and there that I've been taking notice. But again, this year, a lot of stuff was canceled, so we're kind of hoping that maybe next year that it'll be a better year and things can happen. So we'll see. But yeah, so I'm gonna do my best to have him pop up for a short little time this later today, this afternoon. I think he was gonna find a moment as the time shifts change and everything. So um, because obviously he's not going to show up during the day, and especially over here, he's not going to make it here until probably the evening. Very similar to Santa. But so yeah, but have fun if you guys look that stuff up. Again, it's there's so many great videos out there, and you could spend hours doing it. And a lot of those videos are like 20-30 minutes long, so I mean you really could get to see how creative people are. And like some of the images you see, it's very nostalgic to have the horns. He supposedly has goat feet. uh a lot of the original things, again, are is the tongue sticking out. After doing research and stuff like that, that was more done just from a picture standpoint, like what you see behind me, over there. I guess I should Which way should I go? you know you know Case in point, with scaring people. So um but so that's what you typically would see. And then a lot of people have changed, have done so much more with that, because obviously so many more artisans out there, and creative people. And typically, the masks that were originally done are, we're in wood, so it's all hand carved, and there's nothing latex about it. Uh, they use what they can, to make it more real. uh that's the fun part about it, is some of the details and some of the things. And there's certain makers out there that even have now put lights behind the eyes, so now it kind of gives a little bit more of that, if, like, imagine in the woods, when you see, like a deer or a raccoon or something like that, and you get that, you just hit them with a little bit of light, and those eyes glow. So now you get that, with a lot of these people that are um representing it. And so I thought of, it looks cool, and maybe eventually at some point, you know, maybe I'll get another one or something. You never know. But anyway, just a super favorite holiday of mine. And so and geez, I guess I should even say, it's not so much there. I mean, I gotta, you know, it's all representing. So 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 yes, so that's the fun part about it, is even today, I mean, I got cleaned up so that way I could put the shirt on. So I mean, um, normally I'm all kind of like hair's all, a little bit over the place, beard's kind of curled up and things. So I mean, I really got all decked out for today. That's okay. I felt better after the shower anyway. It was much needed. Uh, but yeah, so I mean, that's kind of the fun thing. So definitely check that out later if you guys get a chance. If you're not, don't worry about it. It's okay, especially if it scares you. It's all in good fun. I mean, I should put that out. It is all in good fun, and um, yeah. So we'll see. Uh, I guess, as we start to kind of wind down, I guess I'll bring up, and I'm only bringing it up just because normally I don't. It's, that's something I promote, or you know, remind people of, because it's, you'll know in a second. So not only is it cool to have the day before today, December 5th, a very cool holiday, at least in my opinion, but tomorrow is another cool day because it's my birthday. And I think it's neat to have that all kind of back to back, great holiday, then your birthday the following day. So it's kind of fun. And like I said, normally I don't bring it up because it's just another year. Um, I don't, I've gone through all the major, significant milestone years. And now when you're starting to get, at this point, you just don't it's not a big deal anymore. I mean, I'm more, I have, two small kids, so I mean, I'm totally into their stuff. Thanks, Jennifer. And so I'm all about, promoting other other people's stuff. And so, but like I said, I thought it was kind of fun to just share it, just for the fact that, you know it's neat to have all these things this weekend happen at the same time. And then the other interesting fact is that, so today's Krampus Day, tomorrow's my birthday, Monday the 7th is my wife's birthday. So we're everything's loaded for the next, 3 days. So that's what's that's even more exciting. So plenty of things going on. And so I may not be, so if you're messaging, uh there may not be so many quick responses for the next couple days, just in case. And there's reasons for that. And so yeah, I don't I might be slow, I might take a little bit while. And there's not obviously a lot planned. So yeah, typically the birthdays we kind of get to decide on who's eating what meals, we're all eating together, and stuff. So that's about the limit to it. And considering, with everything that's going on out there, there's not a whole lot to really go and do, without just having those thoughts, and stuff. So we'll pretty much be home for the rest of for the next couple days, but that's fine, and I'm okay with that. But again, because again, I'm not really, it's not a big deal for me, especially tomorrow. I mean, I'm cool with the food thing, and helping out there. Thank you, Rhonda. Thanks, thanks, Icky. And I Yeah, so it's it'll be fun and things. So again, that I kind of want that's like I said, just how it's all stacked up, and then the fact that maybe I'll be a little bit slower on messages and things. Because obviously I want to spend some time, especially tomorrow I can kind of do whatever I want, but obviously I want my wife and kids around, of course, and share that with them. And Monday will be whatever the wife wants to do and stuff. So yeah, I'll be the the maid, so to speak, not in that kind of way, but in a way that can I get you something? You want another tea or something, or what do you want food wise? And I'll cook it if you need to. So that sort of maid thing. Um, but thanks, Sharon. And so yeah, it's gonna be cool. Should be a good weekend. So hopefully I'll continue to not feel as stressed for the rest of the time, and hopefully today will be it, and I'll be done with stuff, and I can just enjoy tomorrow and Monday, and well, especially today, today, tomorrow, and Monday. Yeah, thank you, sir. I would appreciate that, Dan. Please do though. I could use a restock if you feel like driving down and bringing me some. That's right, Icky. I very much a caring husband. I do have to say, I've been doing one thing that you used to do for a while, and it's I keep getting looks at it, but it's the same exact thing that the looks you got when you used to say it all the time to your wife. But I've been doing a ton of negative Ghost Rider. Inside joke. Well, most people might remember that line, but anytime there's a no answer, I've been saying that to my wife lately. Negative Ghost Rider. So, oh man, it's good stuff. I was even doing that yesterday, in fact. But yeah. So hopefully, and I know Terry. Yes, it still lives on, Terry. Ah, jeez. I I'm hoping yes. I'm hoping everybody's doing all right. I know it's been I know even for me, like I said, it's been up and down, and I've seen a few other people that have had some really rough weeks in there. Too late, Terry. Too late. Just wait. I, I can imagine the messages I'm going to get later today. Damn you for telling them. But yeah, it's crazy. It's been a wild week for a lot of people, and I been taking notice of that. And again, there's so much people are dealing with, and it's the crazy thing about it. This time of year, we were all supposed to start you know feeling good about stuff, excited about the holidays, which I know a lot of us are, and it's just tough when you have a lot of things that are not great. Hey, tell her I said hi, Dan. And I you know it's unfortunate, and I think it's just kind of how things go, you know whether you want it to happen or not. The way things are lined up and set, we just got to have to go through each moment, each hurdle, each decision when it comes to which path to take and stuff. And so that's the thing is, we got to look out for each other, and just give words of encouragement, as much as we can. And it's something that I try to do a lot, especially on my pages. I hate to see everybody down, and it stinks. I mean, and it is a part of life. It's what we all deal with. I mean, it just feels like weird when sometimes it feels like it's just like everything's falling down on top of you, and you got this black cloud floating above your head. And kind of like me, I get this black cloud. and it's just crazy how that all works out. And you know we all we can do is just lean on the people that are close to us. And we all are connected. We all have ways of thanks, Sharon. And we all have the ability to do that. And uh to see what we're all doing to each other. I mean, I'm glad that we have times like this, on a lot of these shows, uh, that we're able to all kind of come together, and we're not, sitting there, you know, disagreeing with everything that's going on, or my opinion matters and yours doesn't. And I mean, it's just like, you gotta be kidding me. We've lost that, and it stinks. But I'm glad that, you know all these people, every one of you that's here, that's, maybe watching earlier and stuff, you know we we do it, and that's what's neat, is we all get together, we all talk, and we all share these moments. We got laughs in there, and that's, huge. I mean, to be able to sit there and make each other, smile for a change. And you know sure, not everybody's going to say everything, or mention, something's bothering them. But you know for me, a lot of times what I've done is, if I'm having a rough moment and I don't feel like I'm getting through it, I'll have, somebody close to me that my guides are saying, what, talk to that person, just reach out to them. And they might not know when I say, hey, how you doing? It's just that interaction. Even if I don't tell them what's bothering me, but it's that feeling like I needed to talk to this person, because right now their energy is what's going to help me out. And so even if I don't say it, I still get that release, that feeling of, to getting over what I'm dealing with. But and then a lot of times I do. I'm like, yeah, this is kind of bothering me or whatever. And they, whether they give advice or they're willing to just listen to me, and that's awesome. And so, you know, that's why the point is, for you all to do that. I mean, if you're having a rough moment, don't hesitate to, if somebody's name is calling out to you in your friends list, and reach out to them, even if you haven't talked to them in a long time. Do it. You know what I mean? There's a reason if their name keeps popping up in your mind's eye. Hey Kim, hey Kim, there's somebody in her family that's going through a lot right now. Kim, you know, I hope you all keep continuing to get better, and I hope you guys hang in there. I saw that post yesterday, or at least when I saw it. I'm not sure if you posted it yesterday or the day before, because sometimes all the algorithms get off. But um, you know, lots of healing to you and your family, Kim. And but yeah, I mean, I hope that we can do that, and I hope that everybody can find those moments. And you know, Kim, exactly. Kim's family and her are going through a lot right now, and she created a post, and everybody jumped on it. You know what I mean? And everybody, whether you're just putting an emoji in there, or you're giving, words of encouragement, or sending, healing and prayers and love. I mean, that's the thing that we all, that's what we need to do and continue to do. Uh, we can, we're so capable of getting through a lot of other stuff and a lot of other, crap. But it still comes down to us as individuals, and doing the right thing as a human being, to be there for each other. Even if you're not the best of friends, you're still a friend, and you're still, don't, enjoy, being around that person when you get to see them and stuff. But never, don't give up on everybody. Help them out, even if it's just something little small. Every little bit makes a huge difference. And that's, like I said, when if I'm going to post something and I'm looking for a little extra help, there's a reason for it, because I'm at my end to where I'm not getting anywhere personally, but I know darn well, excuse me, darn well, that I need to, have others help me out, because I can't do everything alone. As much as you want to do things alone and don't feel like you're a burden to everybody else. but but you kind of know when you're uh over the top with somebody, or you're asking too much of them. I think you can figure it out. But here and there, you can deal with a lot, and then there's just some things that you just got to get that extra love and support from all your friends and family. So that's huge, huge. So don't forget to do that. You know what I mean? But other than that, a couple minutes left here. Uh Again, things are pretty good. So we are looking to get, or I should say, me, I'm definitely looking to be back next Saturday again. Again, want to keep that momentum going for the entire month. I think we definitely need it. And again, that's the point of why I wanted to do every week in December. Like I'm saying, if I can help a few of you out and just kind of make you smile for the day or get your day started, maybe you had a rough, day before, and you can now wake up and feel like you can move. That's the huge thing. I mean, not like there's anything special about me, I'm just, you find that certain people uh, can just say something a certain way, and in the same way, I certain people just say something and it just triggers, and that's all I can hope for is that if there's something I can say, even if it's something you've heard a billion times before, like it'll be okay, even though you've heard it from everybody, but sometimes certain people it just triggers a little bit more, and that's the whole point. If I can just one little thing that might just help you out a little bit, that's awesome, and that's well worth saying it, even though it's the same words you heard time and time again, right? And that's what I do too. Like I said, I everybody tells you, oh, this, that, and the other, and then one person stands out a little bit more, and it just resonates with you, and that's all I need. That's all you need. That's what it takes, and so uh, that's so cool and so important for us all, and hopefully that makes sense to all of you. So, but like I said, yeah, I want to definitely be back next Saturday again. Keep this momentum going. Um, I am. I haven't started, but I'm hoping this week, since I am off and there is some things going on that I need to accomplish. But I'm hoping to, uh, you know, possibly, have a little bit more fun on these in these morning shows this month. And not that they're not fun already. I mean, like I said, it's fun to kind of still make everybody smile at least a little bit. Thanks, Dan. You too, buddy. And but yeah, hopefully get some other things to happen for them, even if it's for a few minutes. We'll see. But I'm gonna try. And so yeah. I hope everything is, again. I said it earlier. I hope everybody's doing well as best as you can be. Um, like I already said, moments ago. If you need to reach out to anybody that's in this chat room, or myself, or anybody else that's out there, don't hesitate to do that, especially if you feel a pull to that, and it might not even necessarily know why. Just make that contact, and you might be surprised at what ends up happening in that conversation. So do, definitely reach out. Don't sit on it. Don't wait. If it feels like it, go for it, because you'd be surprised uh, if you get it going right away, what it's going to be like in the end. So, uh, other than that, I really don't have too much more. Uh, I hope, I hope everybody has a great rest of your weekend. Um, if you're a Krampus fan, enjoy it as best you can. See you, Terry. Miss you too. And uh, you know, some of you, might be able to rent the movie. And yep, Rhonda's huge. Rhonda's one that anybody could reach out to. She's she's all over the place, and that's in a good way. I hate to put it like that, Rhonda, but you are all over the place when it comes to, every time I turn around, I see your name somewhere. So you are very, very out there and around for a lot of people. So that's awesome for you. Awesome. And but yeah, if again, if you guys certainly can, whether it's, I have no idea, because I don't do any of the video on demand places like Netflix and things. But if you feel like watching a couple movies, there's some great Krampus movies out there. And they'll give you a good taste of it. It's not exactly the way the myth and folklore work, but at the same time, if you like, some excitement, some scary stuff, thank you, sir. Thank you, Icky. You take care of yourself. And so check that out. But might be a good evening to curl up with, your loved ones, and that way they can hold on to you real tight, just like a movie theater. Get that popcorn flying through the air at the scary moments. And uh other than that, gonna be doing the birthday thing tomorrow, and my wife's birthday on Monday, and so gonna be a packed. And yeah, and again, if you feel like it, check out the Black Swamp Krampus. And there's a possibility of an appearance later today. So, you guys, I can't thank you guys enough for hanging out with me. Glad you guys are here. It means a lot to me, and hopefully, you guys have a great week, and then, well, great rest of your weekend and a great week. I'll be posting up, like I do here and there. And with that said, I will see you guys next weekend live. Other than that, look for my post, and you take care. All righty. Thanks a lot. We'll see you soon. Bye.